Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Restoration Rescue, and in today's video, we're back working on the C10, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and knock out some of this front suspension, so stick around. All right guys, in today's video, like I said, we're gonna be knocking out the suspension, but we wanted to show you some new tools that we got in while you guys were away. So we got this brand new Harbor Freight parts washer that came in. We got a brand new Hobart welder that we're going to be using in the future when we're welding on the body of the truck, and some other stuff. We got a new welding cart, and over here we got the new box sandblaster that we're going to be using a lot for the nuts, bolts, and everything to see if we can restore and save a lot of this stuff. So today we're going to work on getting that suspension up and maybe getting a couple pair of brakes on so we can start making this thing closer to a roller. All right guys, so the cross member is lined up. We got it lined up so that it would be centered on everything. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to get all these 6 bolts pushed in, just like loosely fitted right now, and then per the torque specs that we have in one of the shop manuals that we got online, this is it. It came in a 2-volume one. I think it came off of Classic Industries. I'm not 100% sure, but it is a 60 to 80 torque spec on the C10. On the bigger truck it's obviously bigger. But we're gonna get these in, put that in, and then we're gonna start working on the control arms once we get all the bolts into this thing. So let's do this. All right, so we did break a bolt when we were putting the last 2 over here. You can see that we snapped the head off, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue on. That can be fixed at a later date, and we can even do it off camera, but we're gonna have to drill it out and or try and weld a new head on it to spin it out. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna move on to the upper and lower control arms and putting this stuff back together. So what we need to do is we're gonna take the lower control arm and you put it up, and then you have these U-joints that go up, and they're gonna go up through like this, and then they just bolt in and they hold that control arm in. And that's why, if you watched last video, why there's the 2 notches in the lower control arm. The upper control arm, you just put on there, and then where you got shims right here, we're just deciding how much we're gonna put in. That's gonna mess with the camber of the wheel, which camber is, if you look at all these like cars that you see out there that are like this, that's camber. What we want is straight, because we want to have tires that last. So we're going to start knocking this out, so let's do it. All right guys, so in the last video we were having a lot of trouble with the U-joints, or U-bolts, I'm sorry. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you, we have gone and upgraded to this. This is from a 1967 to a 1972 Chevy C10. We had to bore out the holes to put them inside here, and they just fit better and they're stronger versus the comparison of the old one, which you can see there, it's a lot thinner and just weaker kind of. So we wanted the bigger ones. We finally got the lower control arm on. We have put the upper control arm on. We put 2 spacers in. So also what we were having trouble with was getting the spring compressed to get our brand new brake kit on. This is the other spring compressor we had. We even had to cut it down in an attempt to get it in, but we were just running into a lot of issues. So I was able to find this at the local Advanced and order it and have it shipped in. And what this one does is it comes up through the bottom, and then it opens up and we can compress the spring so that we can get our new brakes on. You can see here, this is our new brakes from Performance Online. It's their Blackout series. It actually came all together. So pretty much what we have to do is compress the spring, put it on, put the castle nuts on, and that's it. So we're gonna get started. All right, so as you can see on the top, it curls a little smaller and there's a cut. On the bottom, it's wide open and there's a cut as well. So this is the top, and underneath here, there's a lip that this is gonna catch, and the same with the bottom. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna line that up, we're gonna compress the spring and get our brake on. So let's do this. All right, so sorry we couldn't show that. It was kind of a two-man job, but this is how it works. You can kind of see it in here, but we're gonna go on the explanation of this. This is actually what's gonna shoot up to the top. So then you take B, which is this piece right here, and you shoot it with the forks kind of like sitting like this, if you can kind of see it in here. And then back up here, you screw this into the bottom and it compresses. We were able to compress it enough where we were able to get these two bolts on. So now what we need to do is torque these down to spec. So these are 60 to 75, same as the one on the top, which I don't know if you're gonna be able to see because of the weird angle. But we're gonna leave this in, we're gonna torque it to spec, put the carter pin in and twist it around so this is ready. And then we're gonna come over here and put the shock in so that we can have this all pretty much set up for when we hit the other side and hit the rest of the truck. So let's hit this. All right. So as you can see, we've got it all together. We put all our grease fittings in. We have torqued this all down to spec, which was 60 to 75 on both the bottom and the top. We've got our cotter pins in, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to the shocks, which as you can see, we have gotten the Western Chassis high performance shocks. For the stock ride height in the box, it comes with the shock, and then these, which go in the middle of the hole, so when you slide it on, has a little bit of movement. So what we need to do is we have also bought new bolts for this. We're gonna use the old nut though for the back of it. So what we need to do is put this in and bolt this in so that we could put the top part of the shock in, and then it connects right here to the lower control arm. So let's knock that out. All right, so that's pretty much gonna wrap it up. We were unable to get this shock on. So there's supposed to be this supposed to go through it, but on both of these, they're not fitting over the bolt here, and they're not fitting over the bolt on the bottom. We gotta do a little bit more research before we put them on, but it's pretty easy. We just gotta get it over this and then onto that, and that will be set. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.